Okay. So here's my ghetto washing machine. And what happened was, I know this is going to sound really ridiculous. But what happened was, we bought this washing machine on clearance at Home Depot. It wasn't really clearance, it was like a customer take back. And it's a unique washing machine because it washes, what else? It washes and dries all in one unit. And it's energy efficient, so it does all this like with energy efficiency. This is just a sticker that I got like years ago at a Zia Records in Arizona, I believe. But this is an LG. It's one of those HE machines. I think all of them are going to HE nowadays. So now we're at 15. The LCD display messed up, but this says 15 right here. So once it hits 15 minutes, it's ready to spin. So I've rigged it here. I've rigged it with its own pump. What I did was, it's kind of crazy. The pumps, it takes a long time to explain this, but the pumps on this particular washing machine are like really garbage. And so I started to order some spare pumps, you know, some replacement pumps from Amazon. And they were pretty, you know, reputable pump companies or whatever, aftermarket part companies. And what I would do is I would follow all the instructions that I found on YouTube and whatnot from actual repairmen. And I would install these new pumps, and the pumps would just go bad after like 2 months. They'd just go bad. And they were like 25 bucks a piece, these pumps. And I was like, man, these things are expensive. And plus it's a hassle to have to go and climb underneath the machine and, you know, install these pumps. So anyways, let me drain this. This is my drain button right here. It's actually from an arcade video game. I have arcade parts because I used to be an arcade manager, and every time I'd replace something, I would fix the old broken part that they just told me to throw away. So as you can see, I'm draining it now because once it hits 15 minutes, that means it's time to drain. So there, it's starting to work again. So now it's going on to the next cycle, which is a spin. It's really time consuming to do this. Why don't I buy a brand new washer, you ask? I don't know. I guess it's because I know I'm looking at least $500 to $800 for a new washer. Because if I get a new washer, I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna get the one where I can stick the you know, the mattress in or something. You know, I want something gigantic, especially with this new dog I have. It's just, but I don't know. I guess I just don't mind coming into the garage and chilling for a few minutes to drain this thing. It is quite time consuming, but I only do laundry like 3 days out of the week, and I'm not out here for very long. As a matter of fact, I could go back in and do some chores and then come back out and drain it every now and then. You know, if I set a timer or something, I could come out and drain it. But the washing machine itself is pretty neat. But like I said, the pumps are bad. So what I did was, I don't know if you can see this, but I actually went to Harbor Freight and I bought a pump. It's like, and I had to rig some fittings in there. I think you can see them there. I've got the light on it. But see that right there where you see that white plastic adapter? That's where the, this adapter here, that's where the original pump used to plug into. And it probably came out to, like, you know, the original pump was probably about this far. You know, it came out to about here. And it was just a impeller style pump. And I got tired of changing those out because they're just garbage. So what I did was I went to Harbor Freight and then I went to Home Depot and I rigged all this stuff with a motor. So I got my motor here, as you can see, with this cord. And this is a Drummond, it's called a Drummond pump. And I used an old piece of hose here to connect to this black fitting that's like a pond pump fitting. And then I just ran this other piece of hose to the output. So that's the drain, and I used good rubber seals. As you can see, there's no moisture down here. There was at one point, so that's why you see the you know, indications of some yuckiness under there, because I had a flood when the old pump styles weren't working and I had to change them out. I forgot to drain it once and I took the pump off and I got water in there. Every now and then you gotta open this up, and this is like the filter cartridge. There's like a little basket filter thing and you gotta clean that out. It's like a clean out. But I've always loved the front style load washers. I've always enjoyed watching them do their job. It just seems so much more efficient than the top load, because you can see them actually scrubbing the laundry as the gravity helps to you know, really throw the laundry around at slow pace. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and drain it again because we're at 12 minutes and that's when it's gonna start picking up speed. So you can see draining it out here. So you can kind of hear the noise that it gives when it's drained fully. You can just tell there's like a special noise to it. You can also see the let me shut off my flashlight real quick. You can also see this here. I bought this because I don't know why. Because, you know, for a while before I did this modification, we didn't have a washing machine, so I was actually using a tub and a scrub right there. Forget what they call that thing. A laundry grate or something. But I was actually using that for about a week, and boy, that's hard work. So I was like, forget this. So then that's why I went to Harbor Freight and bought this motor. This motor's been good for this washing machine. But what happened was, the reason why I have this switch on here is, if I can remember right, I crossed a wire at one point when I was plugging this in, because I was trying to plug these wires into the pump, and I crossed the wire and I accidentally touched a hot point or something, and I think it fried something on the motherboard that controls the drain operation. So what it did was, I'm draining it again here because we're at 10 minutes, and now it's pretty well drained. If you don't drain it, what happens is, for some reason, when it's doing this final spin cycle, it doesn't sense the fact that it's not drained, and it just starts to run into its own water. So it's like spinning at high speed, but it's like running into its own water. So it's not good for it, because the motor's trying to spin it dry, but it's running into its own water, and it's just slowing it down. You know, possibly it possibly could, you know, burn up the motor if it does that for too long. But literally, like, what I want to do with this washing machine, because it still works really good, you know, and here by 9 minutes, you're pretty, once it reaches the 9-minute mark, you're pretty good to go. Like, I could go back in the house, go to bed if I want, and wake up in the morning and throw it in the dryer. But I usually let it get down to about 6 minutes, and then I just shut it off anyway, because I don't know how much more it needs to really spin. Because after 9 minutes, when I press this button, I can tell it's drained. You know, I mean, it's already spun, so I don't know why the manufacturer made it spin for so darn long. You know, I mean, it practically almost dries the clothes. It spins so well. And this one's set to extra high on the gauge. So we're at 8 minutes now. But it's been a good modification as far as the pump goes. I plan on taking the motherboard off later. If I have a day where, you know, after I clean my garage out and everything, if I have a day where I can go in and take the motherboard out, and reconfigure it, or do some tests, I'm pretty sure there's a high power transistor or something that just got stuck closed, because when I crossed the wires, it probably just got stuck closed. So maybe if I clip that off, maybe it's just a MOSFET or something. You know, maybe I could just trim that off and put a new one in or something. You know, it's still a decent washing machine. As far as value, I think we paid like $1,000 for this washing machine, and it's just because it's super compact. You can put it in an RV and stuff.